This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 223 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show, A Charming Cherokee. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our sponsors this week are Draper Therapies, Charles Owen, and Stable Comfort by ProMat. You can find all of them at stablescoop.com.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. The Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B., and you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Well, howdy, Helena.
Well, howdy, Glenn.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Well,
Make
it's a
sure
day
I got
late.
my holidays right.
It's a day late, actually. So happy Black Friday.
Happy Black Friday. I don't celebrate Black Friday. I refuse to do the shopping thing.
Yeah, me too. We never go out. That's, I just can't say, I don't have anything I want that bad.
No. Well, I do. But I'm certainly not going to go out to any store on the Friday after Thanksgiving to get it. I just don't, I have a hard time. I'm all about gift giving, especially at the holidays. I think it's a great way to celebrate your love and your thankfulness and, the hope of the year to come and everything. But I think like a lot of people, it gets so overwhelming, like the pressure to buy and then to start the day after Thanksgiving. It's just...
We solved that a long time ago. We just don't get anybody anything.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But we definitely cut down. My brothers and I made a deal. As soon as we got out and got married, it was like, I have 3 brothers, so that meant, their wives and everything, their kids and everything. And we finally just sat down one day and said, look, we're not buying anything for each other anymore because it just got to be too much. So, we made that deal, and pretty much we did the same thing with Jennifer's siblings, too, because there's so many, that it just got almost impossible. So we made a deal. If none of us buys the other, then nobody feels guilty.
Right.
So that's where we left it. It said, let's just get together and, and have fun and,
And eat and get drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Be together. So that's what we do. That's where we went with it. And I think we've all been happier since then, I think.
It's true. You are happier. It's like this release of tension from, it's just hard because you're surrounded by it. It's everywhere. And so you know what? I don't even watch TV anymore. I don't even look at the television. No, we don't have to see any Target commercials. The problem, though, is that...
Well, that's why TiVo and DVRing is so wonderful.
It is wonderful. However, now they've taken over Facebook. So it's like my friends are like, they like Target and they like Walmart and they like Tide, to get these discounts or whatever, these coupons. And my news feed is just jammed with this crap.
I know what you mean by that. And I think Facebook's trying to do some things about that. But let's not complain about buying gifts too much because I have an announcement.
Oh, okay. You bought me a gift?
No, well, not yet. But there is finally, after 3.5 years of people bugging us and listeners hounding us, we now have a Horse Radio Network merchandise store.
Yay!
You can buy Horse Radio Network logo stuff. You know how everybody likes our little logo with the microphone horse?
Yep.
Well, now they can buy the little logo with the microphone horse on mugs and canvas totes and saddle pads and hats. We have shirts, flashlights. We have about a dozen products now that you can buy. We're going to add to that. We're going to keep adding to that. But for right now, it's up. It's ready for Black Friday shopping today. So for all of those Horse Radio Network fans in your life, you can get them a little something for Christmas right there. Or yourself, by yourself. Who cares about them? Let's just buy yourself something. So it's at hrnstore.com. Or you can just go to go to stablescoop.com, and there's a link right there. So hrnstore.com is the website, though.
Oh, how cute!
And you can go there and buy lots of stuff with HRN on it.
Who's modeling the saddle pad?
That is one of our listeners who won a hat. She has her horse in this picture, wearing a dressage saddle with an HRN saddle pad and a hat. She won those, actually, when we had a contest the one time, and she sent us that picture. And it makes a great picture. It's Dawn Deems is her name. And it makes a great picture for our hat, or for our model, or for our website here, doesn't it?
Yes. And then there's a picture of Jamie Jennings from Horses in the Morning. She's got an HRN saddle pad on her horse.
Yep. So it's those saddle pads are available too in all-purpose and dressage with the HRN logo, and the HRN logo looks really spiffy on it, don't you think?
Wicked. I love the logo. It's very crisp and clean, and we have a T-shirt. This is so awesome.
Yeah. Now we did some merchandise, a couple of things with Horses in the Morning logo, and we're going to eventually expand out to all the shows. But we couldn't do everything at once because we have too many shows. So we did a couple things with Horses in the Morning, but we're going to be adding to that all the time. As we can afford to build it up, we're going to be doing that. So
lovely.
So it's hrnstore.com for your Horse Radio Network merchandise. We've never had it before, so the first time you're going to be able to buy. The mugs are really nice, by the way. I like the mugs.
I like the mugs too. I think I might need to get like a whole set.
There you go. No, it's terrific. I like that. It's just keep in mind that Christmas is coming, so don't go out and buy too much yourself there, Helena.
Right. No,
you never know what you might get.
No, I never know what I might get. Oh, right. Okay. That's good.
Keep up, Helena.
You know what I like? I really like peppermint flavored things. Like peppermint flavored chocolates would fit nice into an HRN mug set. Food is always good. Food is a great gift.
Yep. Well, we do have the mugs, too. You can buy a Christmas gift mug that will come already wrapped and with little bows on it and everything.
Oh, that's sweet.
And it'll have, you can either get candy in it or mints for the horses. So you can either do one or the other.
Or both. See, the problem with the mints for the horses and candy is like I eat it all. I eat it on the way to the barn. You know, you're like,
well, how about we fill it with stud muffins and then you won't be tempted?
I ate the stud muffins too. I'm not kidding you. I was like yesterday, I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to catch the pony. Gracie had a lesson here at Hither and Yon, and Nora came down. I'm like, oh, we gotta hurry up and get the pony in here. So I broke out the stud muffins, knowing that my horses would just come running for them. And I'm like, they're all like gooey and sweet and soft. Like, oh, they smell so good. Maybe I'll just take a little nibble. It was so good. I had to stop myself from eating the whole stud muffin.
Well, they are tasty. I mean, the horses obviously love them. Well, we have a great guest coming up today on today's show. I wanted somebody, it's Black Friday, so we're all in a holiday mood, and I wanted somebody who was going to be fun and entertaining. So I'll tell you a little bit more about her in just a minute, but we have a girl by the name of KJ Jones, who is an adventurer, an equine performer, and entertainer. She's a Cherokee Indian and very proud of that, and she's an equine photographer. She's also an artist. She's a sculptor. She does murals. She considers herself a cowboy and an Indian. And she trick ropes and she throws knives, and I mean, this woman does everything. So we're gonna be talking to her today and having a little fun, just learning about her life. And I hear that she has a really cool Southern accent. So we're gonna hear more about that right after this third part in the Holiday Helmet series that we're doing in cooperation with Charles Owen and Riders for Helmet. The Horse Radio Network presents a special holiday series called "Giving the Gift of Safety: Purchasing a Helmet for Your Loved Ones at Christmas." And today we talk about helmet standards and how do you understand what they are and which standards do you need in your helmet. We're going to learn more about that right now. Glenn the Geek here, founder of the Horse Radio Network. We are excited to bring you a special holiday helmet mini-series, Giving the Gift of Safety: Purchasing a Helmet for Your Loved Ones at Christmas. In cooperation with Charles Owen and Riders for Helmets, we have created this 6-part miniseries to highlight some amazing real-life stories and some tips on buying helmets as gifts. Today we have Roy from Charles Owens back with us to talk about what all those symbols and certifications mean in your helmets. So, Roy, there are a lot, as we said, there are a lot of symbols and numbers and things. There's a lot of standards and certifications. What do I need to know as a person going to buy a helmet? What do I need to look for inside the helmet to make sure I'm getting one that's safe for my head for riding my horse or driving my horse?
Well, a lot of people just want to look, just tell me the symbol I need to have inside the helmet, because there's got to be one standard that's best, that is the super standard.
Right.
Now, the thing about standards is standards represent accidents. And if you go for the standard that is the toughest, then that's great if you have that tough accident. But if you fall onto a sand surface, one of these riding arenas, then that may not actually give you the best protection for that type of accident. So the best thing to do is to look for as many standards as you can do, because each standard tests for a different set of accidents.
Okay.
And that's going to give you the biggest range of protection, rather than looking for the one with the ultimate. And I mean, we've just produced one for those people that are concerned about that horrible accident, the rotational fall. And we've just produced one with 4 safety standards in. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's the safest helmet, because obviously the safest helmet is the one that fits your head. But if you're not going to have that accident and you're not concerned, you don't see yourself particularly at risk from those extreme accidents, you don't need to have that level of safety. You want the standard that's going to give you the right protection. Now, of course, alongside standards is the guarantees that you're going to get from having other marks from independent testing bodies, things like the SCI mark and the CE mark. And there's a funny heart-shaped symbol, which is the British Safety Institute. They do independent testing on the products, and it's those marks that really give you that sense of security, that you're not just relying on the manufacturer saying this is a great product, but these certification marks are saying somebody else is standing up and willing to put their logo on this product to say, we would recommend you buying this helmet.
Well, the one symbol that I see the most here in the United States, and that I think everybody's familiar with because it says it on your horse show applications and things, is SCI. It has to have the SCI stamp on the inside. Tell us about that.
Well, that's correct. I mean, the SCI is the minimum requirement by the USEF and various horse show organizations and various barns, because they want you to have a minimum level of safety. But of course, if you're buying the gift of safety for somebody else, somebody who you really care for, are you really just going to be looking for the minimum? And this is where you can start to look at multiple standards and multiple certifications, because with that extra level of scrutiny and each person looking for something slightly different, the more safety marks and the more safety certifications you can have on a product, you're not buying somebody just the minimum level of safety. You're buying somebody the best safety you can have. And it's quite common, people kind of scrimp and save on trying to feed their horse, and they'll often go along and say, oh, well, I'll just get something that's going to, that looks like it's going to save my head, and I'll just put that on. But then when you're giving a gift, this is an opportunity where you can say, do you know what? I actually care about you so much that I think you want something above the basic. And that's where you're looking for this extra certification.
And Charles Owen helmets have that.
Oh, Charles Owen have a whole range. We have some introductory helmets which have 2 safety standards on. The majority of them are 3 safety standards. and we have just launched for the person that's really scared of that rotational fall, a 4 safety standard with 4 certifications.
Well, Roy, when I used to have our own store and we used to be fitting helmets for people, one of the questions we used to get all the time was, if I buy the more expensive helmet, is that the safer helmet?
Well, not necessarily, because the cost of producing a helmet sometimes is in the design and style, maybe the fabrics that are used, and maybe you're just wanting a helmet with a very complex, very lightweight style, and that all adds to the cost. And of course, there are some people out there that feel that people who want to buy the best will expect that by paying a high price, they will get the best. But that isn't necessarily always the case. When we're looking for a helmet, and really we do some introductory helmets that have a huge amount of safety built in, because we do take care of the new riders that come into our community that perhaps don't want to spend a huge amount of money, and by removing pieces of leather and going down to nylon straps, you can really pare back the cost of manufacture of a helmet without necessarily affecting the cost. So standards are a great way to look at it, and you'll be surprised that sometimes the highest price helmet isn't necessarily the one with the most safety standards.
Well, this has been very interesting. We're continuing this series in the next part where we talk about how a safe functional helmet can also look stylish. You and I have attended a few helmet symposiums together, and one of the things for helmet adoption that we discussed to increase helmet adoption was that they have to be stylish. So that's what we're going to talk about the next time.
I look forward to it.
Thank you to Riders for Helmets for everything they do for helmet awareness and safety. You can visit them at riders4helmets.com. And thank you to Charles Owen. You can visit them at charlesowen.co.uk. So we went, Helena, over the weekend down to see Dr. Wendy Ying in Sarasota. Remember, we had her on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
She's the host of the driving show. And I got to drive one of her horses, and we got to take a pair out. We just had a blast over the weekend, Jennifer and I visiting her. She has a beautiful place with a pool in the back. And we recorded the driving show with the table set up by the pool with the palm trees. It was so neat. It was neat. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
all right, so you got to drive one of Wendy's horses?
Yeah, I got to drive one of her horses, and we had a great time. Her horses are very well trained, so they put up with me. But we drove through her neighborhood, which is a equestrian neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of places like our neighborhood have horses, but it's a little more open, not as wooded as ours.
Yeah.
And first thing, like second farm down, we're driving down through her neighborhood there, the three of us, and what do we see in the lady's yard right there is a bald eagle.
No.
Yep, bald eagle just out sunning himself in the yard by their pond, and we stopped and we took pictures and everything, and then it sort of flew off real slow like they do. And then we saw deer, and we saw huge turtles. I mean, they just have wildlife galore in their neighborhood. It was.
What do you think is the draw? I mean, you guys live in a pretty, I'm going to say open, but you have plenty of open space, undeveloped
space. It's more built up down there, so. I think it's more built up around them, so they have, the wildlife tends to
so they're like
congregate.
An oasis.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it's a big area, it's probably 20 square miles of neighborhood, so it's a big area.
Okay.
And it was just neat. It was really cool. It was fun to drive again. I missed that. For me, there's still no better sight than looking at the butt end of a horse, while driving. It's still fun.
Can you tell the difference? Like, I mean, Wendy's got some serious performance horses. When you are in the cart, do you feel can you like feel their training, their level of? She gave me
the slowest, sluggiest one.
Which is still probably pretty amazing.
Yes, it is. But she did that on purpose. She has others that are obviously a lot more feisty. Yeah. But this was the one that she thought, this is going to be a safe one, and I appreciated that, and so did Jennifer because she was riding in the cart. But Jennifer wouldn't drive. We asked Jennifer if she wanted to drive. Jennifer was never a big driver. She likes going along. She'd go along and she would drive occasionally, but riding's her thing. And, but she respects that my thing is driving, so she'll come along to keep me company and have fun.
Right.
But it was fun. We had a great time. We went on a boat ride at dawn, or at dusk rather. We went on a boat ride at dusk out of Sarasota there, and it was along the Millionaire Mile, where all the big ritzy houses are along the ocean. That was cool. Or it's actually along the Gulf of Mexico.
You're killing me here.
I know, it was beautiful.
It's like 47 degrees out and it's gray.
And then we went to the Tapas restaurant, not Topless. I wanted to go there, but nobody went. So we went to the Tapas restaurant. And, have you done that ever?
What's tapas?
It's a Spanish restaurant that they give you little portions and you order.
Oh, tapas.
Yeah, tapas. Is that how you say
tapas.
it?
I say tapas. Tapas. Okay, yeah. No, I have not. I know what it is, but I've not personally.
Well, it's fun because you get like appetizer portions of all these little plates, and then you just buy a lot of them.
It's kind of like dim sum, like the Chinese version.
Yeah, kind of like that.
It's just like, they bring the buffet to you. You just sample, a sampler.
Yes. Yep. And that's what it was kind of like. So we had a wonderful time. I just wanted to thank Wendy for that. It was a good time. We got to meet her new boyfriend. And
how's he? Nice?
Yeah, he's
a
nice guy. Nice guy. Quiet, strong, quiet type, which is perfect for Wendy because Wendy.
Oh, yeah. He's the yin to her yang.
Yep, she's going to have to be.
Yeah.
But she's a trip. We do enjoy hanging out with her. And I wanted to mention on the driving show this week, she answered listener questions. We had a bunch of listener questions that had come in about health and bits and harness parts and things. So that's what we did for the hour is she answered listener questions. So you can hear that at the driving radio show. And we did it by her pool. And that was my fun for the weekend.
Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was traveling. I was in the car.
Okay. Well,
I was in the car.
At least you weren't out in the snow.
It was a good. What's that?
At least you weren't out in the snow.
No, that'll be next weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or hurricane.
Thanksgiving's over. Snow's coming.
Thanksgiving is over. Oh, I'm just so not looking. I got to plan a trip to Florida for like a couple of weeks.
You do?
I think I'll come down to Horse Radio Network.
I know a place you can stay.
I know. Well, I'll stay with you and Jennifer, of course. I'll drag Gracie.
Yeah.
And
she must have a spring break sometime.
She has a spring break. Yes, she has her spring break. Yeah, we'll figure out how to do that. And I have someone who can take care of the horses, so that's not a problem.
No excuses.
Okay,
All
sure.
right. Well, let's get on with our guest here. We have, right after this word from Draper Therapies, you know how when you follow somebody on Facebook, everybody probably has this person. And I've been following her, and I watch her posts all the time because she is the most adventurous person I've ever seen. She's always doing new, fun, thrilling stuff. And you look at them and you go, when does she have time to do all of this? Do you have those that you follow that you're going, you're just envious that you don't have the time or the energy or the manpower to do everything that they do?
I know. I look at that and I'm like, they must not have kids or they must not like, something's giving them the freedom. And then they have the time to sit down and Facebook it.
I know.
Well,
they take 1,000 pictures. Everything they do is Facebook. You're absolutely right. But this is one of those people, and I kept saying I'm going to get her on a show one of these days because I think she's going to be so much fun. And we're glad that we have her on today. Her name is KJ Jones. She is out of Tennessee. She's a Cherokee Indian, as I said earlier. She also is an entertainer. She is an equine performer and entertainer, has done many, many clinics and things across the country. She also trains mounted police horses, rescue horses. She's an artist. She's a photographer. And she calls herself a cowboy, cowgirl, and an Indian. So kind of a free spirit. So it's got
it all.
Let's talk to KJ Jones. Well, I'm back with Kat from Draper Therapies with another terrific gift idea. It is Black Friday. So you're going to be providing us with some ideas of what we can get our spouses. Is that correct? Or our loved ones or our coaches or any of those?
Yeah, these are the products we wanted to feature today, and I say products as multiples because we actually have some great stocking stuffers. So these are all $10 and under, so you're getting the great benefits of Celiant, which has been clinically proven to help increase circulation and reduce pain, and you're getting that in a nice winter item. So we have we have a winter cap, which is fuzzy and warm and really, really fun. We have a beanie, so for those people who, maybe aren't in the climates like we are in New England, you can have just a beanie, which is great and versatile. And then we also have a headband. So for those people who are out skiing and things like that but don't want a big hat on them, they can also just wear the headband as well. So all of them are $10. They're all available on our website, and it's very exciting for this holiday coming up.
Now, if I wear the hat and it has the Celiant in it, does it make me smarter or wittier?
I cannot make any claims, but everybody's going to react differently, so you just never know.
In other words, it's worth a try, Kat.
Absolutely. For $10, why not?
You can find all of these terrific products at drapertherapies.com. If you want to be smarter or wittier, check out drapertherapies.com. Just by going to the site, you get smarter.
Yes, of course you do, because you're going to be learning something, hopefully.
That's right.
But again, we can't stand behind those claims. We can stand
That's
behind
me saying that.
Maybe something fun will happen. You just never know.
Well, hi, KJ, and welcome to the Stable Scoop Show. It's so good to finally talk to you.
Thank you. Hi, Glenn. It's great to be here.
I feel like you're one of my best friends because we've been friends on Facebook forever. And
Yes,
I watch all of your posts, and I see all of the cool things that you get to do in life. And by the way, I'm envious. I'm going to be honest. And we finally get to talk.
Absolutely. And you caught me on a stuffy head Southern accent day, but we will adapt and overcome.
Well, we love Southern accents here, so don't you worry about that. Now tell me, we're going to go into a little bit about your past and how you got into the horse world and all of that. But first, you posted a picture last week on Facebook, and the caption said, "Taking my first knife throwing lesson." And the picture is of this guy in a red shirt standing there with you throwing knives at him or all around him around the wall. And you said that was only after an hour. What idiot stands in front of you? And,
No.
I mean,
he's a world champion, like the winningest, most world champion knife thrower in history, and he's in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's a genius. But the thing is I've been throwing for a little while. That was my first lesson with him.
Okay.
I've been traveling with the Rhinestone Roper show, so I throw a tomahawk in the show, and I had learned the basics of throwing the tomahawk with Dan Mink. He's the Rhinestone Roper. And I tried it with his knives once or twice during our lessons. We had intense lessons for about 6 days straight. I had to fly out to Idaho and do 6 days of lessons and then go back home. So we sort of crammed in trick ropes, bull whips, throwing knives, throwing tomahawks and different things like that, and the horses and everything. And that's one of his best friends, Mike Baines. And so I was fortunate enough to go to the International Knife Throwers, Tomahawk Throwers Hall of Fame. They had their championships a couple of weekends ago, and we stayed at Mike's place, and he offered to help me with my knife throwing because I really want to do that. And in Dan's show, I'm on a wheel. He spins me on the wheel, and while I'm spinning, he throws 10 knives around me, and then I take a .45 caliber pistol, a 6-shooter, and I shoot balloons out of the air while I'm spinning. So,
God, that's so cool.
But Mike is a genius, so he would have never stood there if I didn't have the skill or the concentration and the focus to throw those knives in a straight line up the wall, and it's either a 10 or 12 inch wide board. If I weren't consistently throwing them in a line up the wall, he would have never stood there. But he has trained world champions. And
KJ, I'm going to interrupt you there, and I just want to say this, okay? I am never standing along that wall with you throwing knives at me. I don't care how good you are.
Well, well, the thing is, we would, and this is what I say is, I would only do that for someone who could appreciate the skill that goes into that. So you're probably.
Oh, I appreciate it. I just don't want to be at the pointy end. I always wondered, KJ, that a lot of the people that do this, are husband and wife teams. And I always think, what happens if they had a huge fight that morning? Somebody's going to die.
Well, like I said, it's the people who do it they're extreme professionals and they're extremely good at what they do, and it is a skill that I just kind of had a natural talent for it, and they're just they're teaching me exactly how to just be better with it, and so, but everywhere we go, everyone does. They think that they just automatically assume that Dan's my husband, and like, well. Why does he have to be my husband and throw knives around me? Well, you really trust him? Well, he's a world champion. He's really good. And plus, I watched him throw knives around another girl a couple hundred times before I got on that wheel. So
that's it. There's the real answer. There's the trust.
Yes.
You've seen it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did, and he's done it for years. He's probably done. He's thrown knives around his assistants and partners for. I don't know, 12, 13 years. He hasn't killed anyone yet. Because if he has, and I think he'd be on the news and not still doing it around the country. So I'm okay with it.
There's horse people and knife throwers all over the world knocking on wood right now. So you've got a lot of things going on. You have many talents and you have a lot of activities. You're a very, very busy woman. How would you define yourself as, I guess, I don't want to say as a human being, but as a horse person? Would you consider yourself a trainer, a competitor, an entertainer, all of the above? What is it? What's the essence of KJ?
I generally refer to myself as, for other people, as a guide. I want to help them have a better relationship with their horse. And that's something you hear most all horse people say, that you train and teach and such and such. But I genuinely do want them to have a better relationship, because I know through all my experiences in life, I've done so many different things. It's true. And, some of it was quite traumatic. Everything was learning experience. But when it came down to it, horses were the stable thing in my life. The horses were always there. The horses were always the same. They never changed on you, and they're very forgiving, because I've made plenty of mistakes, and I've learned so much along the way. And I feel that I want to guide people into having that thing that they come home from. They have the busy day at work. They're all stressed out. They have to focus and do things during the day that generally they don't love to do. And I want to do what I love and love what I do. But as a whole, I feel I'm an entertainer and performer with the horses, and they teach me more than I could ever teach them. So basically, the way I see it is the universe is like a 6 billion piece puzzle, and I'm just trying to find where my little spot is, so I don't have to force it in. It just fits right in, and that's where it is, and that's why I've been all over the place.
That's a really nice way of looking at it, because it is like a puzzle, and some people spend their entire lives looking for that little spot that they fit so nicely into, and it seems like you have a pretty good idea of where your spot is, and you're just sort of cozying up to it right now.
Right.
What would you say then?
Yes.
What would you say? I'm looking at a couple of pictures that we have here. One of which, as Glenn said, is you throwing knives. The other is you have this very warm, genuine smile. It looks like you've got your hand on maybe he's a Mustang. And then there's another of you walking along the beach with a paint. Tell me about that photo. What is that about? What did that capture?
That is...
That captured KJ in a bikini. Well, I just wanted to throw that in.
Glenn, he's such a boy. He's such a boy.
That is Lucky Joe. He belongs to the Rhinestone Roper, Dan Mink. He has been performing in Dan's show for like 13 years, and I love him to death. He's 19 years old, and he is the horse that I do part of most of my performing on in Dan's show now. And I have like a Native American act, and he's just a really sweet boy. And that was we have traveled so much since July. We have crossed this country 3 times since the end of July. And that was one of those days where we could finally just take a break, and we're in between going from one location to the other. And I was just adamant about taking the horses to the beach. Like, we have got to take the horses to the beach. And Dan's like, okay, we'll do that. So that totally made my day. It actually made my year. And we got to ride on the beach, and I introduced both horses to the water and coaxed them in. So I got to put some training in there and contribute to who they are a little bit, and it was a great day. And it's just one of those moments where you can just be, you can just relax, you can breathe. There's no expectations, there's no audience, there's no pressure, and you don't have to worry about what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong, or if your tomahawk's going to stick into the target when you throw it, or something like that. So that was a great day. And I love that horse. He's a very sweet guy, and he works very hard. That horse, he 3 or 4 shows a day sometimes for 10 days straight, and then gets a break and back again, showing you again 3 or 4 times a day.
Now,
so
you talk about the
awesome.
shows. Are they rodeos that you're doing?
These are state fairs.
State fairs, okay.
Oh, nice.
That we are doing right now, and but we will do rodeos. We're booked to do the Alabama Horse Fair the 19th and 20th in January, and it's whatever to get out there and do what I love on the horses. And the horse fair thing is new to Dan, so.
And what's the name of the show that he's got?
The Rhinestone Roper.
The Rhinestone Roper, and is that? I'll find the website for that too. Do you know the website offhand?
The Rhinestone is rhinestoneropershow.com, and then also danmink.com, and you can find it off of kjjones.net. I've sort of combined them, and you can click on About the Show, and it goes to that total website.
Hey, here she is on the wheel getting knives thrown at her.
Nice.
Well, now tell us.
No, not at me, around me. That's what he would say. He's like, I'll walk in public. I'm like, he throws knives at me. He's like, around her.
That's funny. Well, now, what's your favorite thing? If obviously you are living the dream of every teenage girl now. You're living the horse girl's dream. You're doing horse things. You're doing adventurous stuff. But and you've done a lot of different stuff, which I want to talk to you about some of it after our break coming up here. But is this what your dream was? Is this where you want to be, or is there still more?
There's still more. I would like to someday produce my own show, even get to perform in it. But I would love to produce a show. And I have so many friends who are so talented, and they want to get out there, and they have horses, and they want to display what they can do, and I can't think of anything better than to put everyone together in a show. And I know the economy is really tough right now, and horse fairs and these venues are trying to find different ways to attract people out. But I've been thinking about it for several years, and I think I have a pretty great idea of how to do that, and it not just be geared directly, specifically, totally towards horse people, but to everyone in general. So at least try that and see what happens with that.
Well, I'm sure that you've pretty much can do anything you want to do, so I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. And you let us know when you do, and we'll be sure to promote it for you. We're going to take a quick break here for a commercial from Stable Comfort by ProMat, and we're going to be right back with more about KJ, because she has other parts of her life too I want to talk to her about, and we'll be right back.
Hey folks, Coach Jen here from the Horse Tip Daily Show. All of us as horsemen mull over our horses' nutrition and stress out over their stress level and fret about their fitness. But when is the last time you puzzled over your horse's lounging and sleeping comfort? Research has shown us over and over that quantity as well as quality of rest and sleep are crucial for top athletic performance as well as overall well-being. Enter Stable Comfort by ProMat. Astute horsemen everywhere have been trusting Stable Comfort by ProMat to provide unsurpassed comfort for their equine charges, as well as an efficient and economical stall flooring system that saves them both labor and bedding dollars. Still not sure? Well, here's what one of Stable Comfort by ProMat's customers has to say. When I built my first custom stables slightly more than 8 years ago, one of my greatest concerns was the stall mat selection. Frankly, I would rather have no stall mats than mats that constantly shift, tripping horses and requiring extra shavings to hide the problems in an attempt to make horses comfortable. And most of all, I dreaded the burden of having to move heavy mats and repack stall foundations. Mission accomplished, thanks to ProMat for delivering an excellent product. The horses love it because it is comfortable. I love it because it looks perfect, even after 8 years. We bed the stalls only as needed and use far less shavings than I ever could have had imagined. And it takes less time to clean the stalls when using less bedding. And that's from Ann Duerge of Little Rock, Arkansas. But the accolades don't stop there. Head on over to StableComfort.com and find out why champions like Nick Skelton, Mary King, and Chris Cox use Stable Comfort by ProMat systems for their equine athletes.
KJ, now you also do some amazing photography. You're an artist. I mean, is there anything you can't do?
Well, if I can't, I'm going to try it. And if it's really bad, I'll stop. If I'm pretty good, I'll keep going at it until I'm bored. But it's kind of that thing with the puzzle, too. There's so many things I want to do. And the main thing is my main focus now is to make sure my horses are taken care of, that I can take care of my horses, take care of me, and make a living. And life is too short to not love what you do. So I am totally dedicated. I'm going to do what I love and love what I do because I want to be happy, and that's the main thing. I am happy, and I want to stay that way. So that's the whole thing that's life right there.
Well, let's talk a little bit too. And you're a proud member of the Cherokee Nation, and tell us about what that means to you and how that's affected your life. I'm very honored. I'm very honored that I'm a member, and there are so many people out there who have Cherokee blood that aren't members, and they should be. And it's not an easy thing to, you have your heritage, you have your genealogy, but it's one of those tough things that either happens or it doesn't happen for some reason. And it was brought to my attention by a friend of mine who he believed in me so much, and I wasn't sure about him. It takes me a little while to warm up to folks, and he was one of those friends who he was actually a chief of his tribe and head speaker for the United Nations of Indians, and he just kept encouraging me, and this person of his caliber actually he was inspired by me, and I knew in the things that he was trying to accomplish in his life that he always included me, and he would try to find a way to make sure that I always had something to look forward to, that I had something ahead of me. So no matter whatever I tried, if I succeeded or if I needed to step back and reevaluate my situation and go in a different direction, which a lot of the times meant going back to square one and trying to find that opportunity or that door, he was always there. And it probably took him a couple of years, and he kept talking to me about it, and he finally talked me into it. And basically, he's like, look, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to send you this paperwork, and this is for your benefit, and this is part of your heritage, this is your history. And I've always loved everything about Native Americans, and I always wanted to incorporate that with the horses and the performing and the entertaining. I just thought it would be a lot more complicated than it was. So he helped me with that and through life, and he was an extremely wise man. And it got to where when I'd have tough decisions in life, or I needed to change, or if I needed direction or advice, I would call him. And he had sent me my paperwork, and I'd signed everything, filled it out, and sent it back to him. And in the process of my paperwork going from me to him, he had to drive to Nebraska because his brother had passed in a ceremony, and so he drove up there for his brother's funeral, and he never came back. When he went up there for his brother's funeral, he had a blood clot in his lung,
that no one
my
knew about,
gosh.
and it burst. And so I lost my mentor, and it was tough. And this was in April. So he was a major motivator in my life, and I felt lost for a while. And that feeling also, even though it's really tough when you lose people who are really close to you, you kind of feel like, you don't have a direction, you don't know what to do, but the opportunities continue to happen. And I've been very fortunate to where when I'm in a position, an opportunity will present itself, and it always has. So I kind of go with the flow. I can't make plans like 5-year plans, 10-year plans, because these opportunities do present themselves, and I'm in a completely different direction than I thought I would be in. But it means a lot now that he's gone, but we finished the process. It took a little longer because we had to redirect and everything. It took a little longer, and the chief of the Cherokee, he says, Cheska would be proud of you, and he would be happy that we saw this through. And we're also talking about a title for me, or an opportunity for me to be the ambassador of friendship and peace for the Cherokee, and we'll see what happens with that. It's just an idea, a conversation we had, and I hope so, because I never thought these things would come to pass, and they have, and it helps in life, like you said, and it's another spot of inspiration for me after losing my mentor and someone so close who helped me through life. So it's very precious. It's very, very precious, and that will always be a part of everything I do from here on out.
It sounds like you get a lot of inspiration and positive energy from not only who you're surrounded by, but the places that you're in, and your experiences, and your horses, and how hard they work and how wonderful they are, have so much energy to give you, and the physical space that you are in, the beach and the outdoors. And again, it's just giving you all this positive energy. And what I'm hearing is that you're so open to it. It just seems as if it passes right through you, because then you're in a great place to give it right back to the world. You're in a great place to give it back to someone who needs it. I would love to see this ambassadorship come to fruition for you, because there's just something that it makes it feel right. Listening to you, it just seems like that is probably the ultimate puzzle piece for you.
Absolutely.
Does it feel like that?
So.
Does it feel like sort of all roads lead to that?
It does. It does. And, I know the chief of the Cherokee is a very busy man, and working so hard to get things established for the nations, and things recognized again in their sovereignty. And so for them to take a few minutes just for me out of everything that they're doing is huge. And that's the thing in life, is try to keep everything positive, to continue to look forward, and to have the positive influences around me. It would just be a shame to not make use of that. I mean, it's there for a reason. And, even in the lowest, darkest parts of my life, it's come to me. And there's been times where I'm just like, I just want to lay down and give up. But you can't. That's not the answer. You can't. There's no start over. There's no fast forward. There's no rewind. You just got to pick yourself up, and you got to continue to go. And a lot of the inspiration that I receive are from women who are in parts of their lives, and they've been there for years, that they're not happy with, that they wish that they could change, and then they find inspiration in things that I'm doing, and that's what I want to do. I want to help make others' lives better, and they find something else to focus on, except for, besides what they don't like in their lives, or the negative, or what someone else is not doing for them, because it is our place alone to find our happiness, to find that happy spot in our life, and focus on that. So that's what I want to do. I want to continue to motivate and inspire. And a lot of the puzzle is to figure out how is the best way to do this. And the other thing is, and, I've had lots of friends over the years, because I've been in situations where, I've had a partner, or I've tried to partner up with someone, and we worked together, and it just wouldn't work. And I've had my friends for several years like, KJ, you need to do this on your own. You need to get out there and do what you feel like you need to do. But I have always felt for years that as a team with friends, or as a team with a partner, or if I become married one day, that people are more marketable if you have a group who are positive and putting a good word or a good message out. That the more people are exposed to it, and it's just giving back all the positive. Because I've had so many amazing things happen to me in my life that I want to give back, and I continue to want to give back. And it's every day is a search of how can I do this better? How can I do this more? What can I do to make the world a better place? So that makes me happy.
I hear what you're saying, but I'll counteract it a little bit. You talk about a group and doing things individually. Yet, I think one of the people I'm thinking of right now is Lindsay White of RidersForHelmets.com, who started that campaign all by herself and has caused there to be massive changes in the helmet laws around several disciplines, dressage and eventing and things. And that's one person, one person
right.
just doing it. And I think your friends are right. I think that if you have that fortitude and you have that personality and that drive, and you have severe amounts of ADD like Helena and I, you can get a lot done, and you certainly qualify on all those fronts. Helena, she makes it look like we don't have ADD at all. That we're just
right. That's talent. That's the talent in it too. You got to make everything look like you meant to do it, even if you fall off a horse who's standing perfectly still.
I love that. That we're going to use that as our new motto. We make everything look like we meant to do it. I like that.
Exactly.
Well, KJ, we're going to leave you with that. Can you give your website out again?
It's www.kjjones.net. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.
Well, I hope you come back and join us again. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Anytime.
So when I was a little girl, I really, really, really wanted to be a Cherokee Indian. And I still really, really want to be a Cherokee Indian.
I don't think I don't think you can just say I want to be one. I think you're kind of born into that.
Why? I just maybe in my next life, or maybe I was one in my past life.
See, that's it. You could have been, because I know you pretty well, and you kind of, I could see that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have that free spirit thing going.
Well, and KJ's got it. She's a force to be reckoned with. I think I'm very happy that we were able to have her on today.
I'm still not going to let her throw knives at me.
You will too. She's cute. You let any pretty girl throw knives at you. And something tells me that there's more than a few who would want to.
I've been married 25 years. I think I have had knives thrown at me at times.
Knives, dishes, bridles, bell boots. Bell boots are good for throwing at men.
That's true. At least they're soft.
You can fling them, but they don't hurt anybody. Not that I have any experience with that or anything.
No, not that you've done that at all, ever. Let's call it a day. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a very, very cool weekend. Enjoy your shopping if that's what you're doing today. Get out there. Say hi to your horse this weekend. Give him a hug from Helena and I. And we hope that you enjoy your family if you're still with them. And Helena, we'll be back again next week
with more. And until then, have a turkey sandwich. Happy scooping.